I think everyone in this day and age who played video games remembers their first non-Nintendo game. I think it's a shared memory for many people nowadays. The drive to your local video game store, the anticipation of playing the game your parents stopped you from playing for so long due to the M rating, what felt like a year-long drive home as you read and reread 1,000 times over the back of that game. And finally, that moment when you get home and slide that glorious disc into the tray, and suddenly the screen explodes into life as you're transported into that world where your only worry is to blast away thousands of bad guys. Yeah, I think we all remember that moment. For me, I wasn't so lucky at first. That trip to the game store resulted in a rental. But rentals are cheap, so my parents rented out 2 games for me, a Halo game and Black Ops 1. And while both games are going to get their own respective video, in this video we will be talking about the one I was most excited about. My name is Tevins, and please join me as we talk about the one and only, the last of its kind, Halo Reach. I think it'd be wrong to have a Halo Reach video and not talk about its campaign. This game has one of the best campaigns I have ever played, and that is no exaggeration. This game does something that very few amount of games do, and that is emphasize that you, the player, are mortal, and that it only takes one bad thing to go wrong for you to die. The game does this in both overt and subtle ways. One such way was by making your team, who are also these godlike super soldiers, die in the most unexpected and sudden ways possible. They do this by never building up the moments before they die. All of the deaths are very much so, we gotta do what we gotta do. That's if they even get that. Cat literally gets quickscoped mid-cutscene. What game has the balls to just off one of the main characters in a cutscene totally out of the blue? Some people argue that having the characters die with no build-up hurts the game, but I see it as a good thing. It reinforces the main point behind the game, that the battle you are fighting is both uncertain and will come with a high price, and that you, the player, can easily become a part of that price. This is big, as in most games you are a godlike, nigh-on, invincible shooty McShoot guy that comes to save the day. The way this game broke away from the norm is fantastic. And while I could talk for literal hours about how great the campaign was, many more qualified people have already done that. So let's get to what Halo is known best for, the multiplayer. Multiplayer in Halo has always been a different experience than other games. The 1001 different game modes, all with their own different playstyles and skill gaps, all of them jam-packed with endless hours of fun for you and your friends. Somehow, in 2010, Bungie made a game where not only did they have a shit ton of game modes, but these game modes, in a simple description, are just fun as fuck. Wanna headshot some bitches? SWAT's got you, baby. Wanna blow shit up in a giant alien death jet? Big team battle, baby. Fuck yeah. Wanna blow shit up as a coked up Doomslayer? Firefight has you. Or maybe you wanna see how long you can last against legions of the undead? Reach's Infection is the best in the series. No matter what playlist you found yourself in, this game was a blast. The skill ceiling was immense too, and it wasn't just aim and shoot like most first-person shooters. Halo is special because it allows you different avenues to get the kill. Want to turn an FPS into a stealth game? There's active camo. Want to single-handedly challenge a damn tank? Armor lock. Want to use jetpack and fucking hijack that alien death jet? You can. There are so many different ways to fight in Halo Reach, which really elevates it above your average first-person shooter. Speaking of different ways to get kills than just shooting, the vehicles in this game are a blast. You can ride across Halo in the equivalent of World War III in nothing but a four-wheeler. You can ride across that same battlefield with a truck with all of your friends, with a fucking 50 cal strapped to the back, and you can get across the battlefield with that fucking death jet I mentioned earlier. Oh my god. gosh, this thing is so fucking OP! I don't even have time to get into all of the awesome vehicles in this game, like the Ghost or Revenant or the alien tank called a Wraith. These vehicles elevate the normal aim, shoot, die, repeat factors that plague the other FPS games. Not that I'm saying that those cycles are bad, but sometimes you want a little more. The armor abilities, vehicles, and much more really add depth to this game. Combine all of this with the screaming 4-year-olds, teenagers who think they're cool for yelling at those 4-year-olds, and 40-year-old alcoholics in the game chat, and you have yourself the trio that made up Halo Reach's Domestic Violence Extended Universe. I cannot talk about Halo Reach without its voice chat. While it's not nearly as bad as Black Ops or Modern Warfare's was, it still had its moments. Like somehow, defying all known laws of the universe, somehow, every single match, without fail, someone always has to sweep the floor with a sweeper that produces the same decibel level as a thermonuclear fucking bomb, and it wasn't just that either. Every match there was always the kid getting their ass beat, some Chinese asshole saying all sorts of shit expecting me to know goddamn Spanish, and why must there always be a dog just losing his absolute shit? All jokes aside though, this game has a great multiplayer. I mean, I could just ramble on and on about it, but wait, what's this? Where am I? It's this slide. It's at the bottom of it. Never has there been a more fun mode added to video games than Forge. Somehow in 2010, Bungie figured out a way to give the power of video game making into the hands of the player, and boy did those players take that power and run with it. The sheer quantity and quality of these maps were absolutely phenomenal. Speed Halo, Get Out of My House 2.0, Jump Rope, Teacher, all of these maps were absolutely awesome, and I have so many memories connected to these maps. The sheer creativity these people had with nothing but a map editor was insane. Whether it's the batshit insane high-speed chaos that was Speed Halo, or the desperate balls-to-the-wall scramble to escape and get out of my house, or turning Halo into a literal RP game where failure meant death, and it's just all inside of the custom game Teacher. All of these maps were so insanely unique, and if you hopped on today with like 10 buddies, you could play a new creative map every day pretty much until the heat death of the universe, and you'd have a blast doing it. These custom games single-handedly gave childhood memories to me and many others, and the best part is that they're still up. You can still go and play them today, and they're just as fun today as they were a decade ago. This mode has single-handedly extended the lifetime of this game by years, and I don't think Halo would be even close to where it is today without Forge. I remember just spending hours with my friends trying to survive Speed Halo with the thousands of cars racing down at us at Mach 10. I remember trying to escape the zombies that were faster than your car and just keep driving. I remember trying to survive in Ghostbusters where all the zombies were invisible and could only kill you by backstabbing you. I remember trying to jump over literal cars in Jump Rope. I remember so much about this game. Where other games' memories seem to fade away with time, Halo Reach's memories are just as vivid now as they were 10 years ago. Few games manage to achieve this. The few that do are all legends. Animal Crossing, Black Ops 1, Minecraft, Skyrim, but none of them had that pure ecstasy that was Halo Reach's Forge custom games. They were in this weird position that you typically only got invited to one once a day, so they were rare enough so that you felt a feeling of surprise and excitement at what lied ahead, but they didn't happen enough so that you could just always hop into one. They always managed to feel incredibly special, and I couldn't really imagine anything topping the feeling that was these custom games. These custom games just had a way to bring everyone together. It didn't matter your background or who you were, these lobbies were just a fucking blast to be a part of. All of these lobbies were new experiences, and every time players had to do creative things to win, or simply survive. This made a game mode where skill didn't matter too much, and your only objective, for a lack of better words, was to have fun. Eventually, everything has to come to an end, and Reach was no different. New Halos were released, and a majority of the fan base left for the newer titles. It's hard to blame them for leaving with all the hype surrounding the new AAA title, but eventually it became harder and harder to find those custom matches, which were the reason for playing for a lot of players, including myself. The rate at which you got invited to them became once every 2 days, then once every 3 days, then 4, then 5, then maybe every other week, and then finally, none at all. And when that day came, when that last invite was sent and no one joined, that's the day Reach really died. Sure, you still had people in the matchmaker, but what had made Halo Reach so special had just finally died. Just like the game's story, it fought good and hard for a long time, but it was inevitable. It would fall like all good games do. That spark that made Halo Reach what it was, finally it fizzled out. And eventually, the friends I made playing the game fizzled out as well. Everyone who was there at the time knows the crippling sadness that is looking at that profile that says offline. Last online 7 years ago. When Reach died, it didn't just take the fun away. It eventually led to friends turning off the console for the last time. I couldn't fault those guys for leaving. We were all getting older, and as time is, interests change, and it just so happens that their interests just weren't gaming anymore. Sometimes on rainy nights, I can't help but think back to those guys, and how we used to play almost every day together, and now, I don't even know if they're alive anymore. Sometimes I go back and play that last mission of Halo Reach. That final mission, where Noble Six is fighting off thousands of the Covenant. As corny and as deep as it sounds, during that fight, I think about how it relates to childhood me. Watching that set of armor that 9-year-old me designed fight off countless enemies just to fall. And no matter how hard I try or for how long I fight, I will always be overwhelmed, and eventually overcame. When I play this mission, I don't even see Noble Six anymore. I see myself, but it's my childhood self, and he's fighting off the countless tragedies that come with life, and I watch as he fights and struggles, but the fight is unwinnable. And I watch as he fights and fights, getting weaker and weaker, and then eventually, the time comes, and he has nothing left to give, and he falters. His armor breaks down on him, his helmet cracks, his shields break, and soon, he breaks. While he goes down fighting, he goes down all the same, and the tragedies of life overcome him, and the only side I am left with is that broken helmet. That helmet which fought for so long, so passionately, only to be turned to ash. Ash that is a reminder of who I once was, and out of the embers of that loss, the man I am today was born. My childhood self was always doomed to lose, just as every kid is doomed to lose. We all have different circumstances, but we all fight this exact same battle, and we all lose it. Out of the embers of that loss, though, we come out new people, and that new person evolves into the people we are today. Just as it did me, just as it did you, and just as it will do to all of the kids of today and of tomorrow. Childhood does not end when you turn 18, or even when you gain some sense of maturity. It ends when you finally lose this fight. But it's not all doom and gloom. Losing childhood innocence is a process that is a natural part of growing up and maturing, and in all reality it is needed. With the survival of the loss of this fight, we come out stronger people. We come out confident in our abilities to survive tragedy, to survive heartbreak, and not only to survive, but to rebuild. And to rebuild ourselves stronger. And there's something powerful that you can hold in your heart, knowing that, come what may, you'll be able to say to yourself, I'll survive, I always do. So, wherever you are in life, just know you survived it this far. So you must be pretty damn good at what you do. So keep doing you. There's still days where I'll boot up Halo Reach on my Xbox 360, the feeling of just staring at that objectively stupid looking Spartan that 9-year-old me had created. But even though I have armor to make him look really cool now, I don't think I'll ever unequip my original armor. Something about it just stops me from changing it. Thinking about that 9-year-old kid who worked so damn hard just to get to a high enough level to be able to equip that armor, it's just so nostalgic and heartwarming. This game is a way of traveling back in time. Whenever I want, I can simply hop into the same suit of armor 9-year-old me designed. There's something so damn special about that. For these reasons, even though Halo Reach was remastered on the Master Chief Collection, and even though I have the Master Chief Collection, I don't think I'll ever play Reach on it. I don't know how, but it just doesn't feel right undoing all of the hard work that 9-year-old kid put into the game. And even if there was a way of transferring the progress, I don't think I would. That old version of Reach just means too damn much to me. Reach definitely helped mold me into the person I am today. 9-year-old me had no idea how much this alien fighting game his cousin showed him would impact him in his life. It taught me a lot. It taught me that I can only blame myself for being shit at something. It gave me thicker skin due to all of the literal adult men talking shit at me in game chat. And it taught me that the funnest gaming experiences, and just overall experiences, are best shared with friends. And at the same time, it taught me to enjoy and savor those moments with those friends, because they won't be around forever. Sometimes I convince my friends nowadays to begrudgingly re-download Halo Reach, just to play those over a decade-old maps. There's a certain charm to them. The inevitability of my friends starting to enjoy the game after only a minuscule amount of time playing. The chaos of it all. All of us playing as our old Spartans, and all of us laughing as if we were 9 again. It really brings back memories. It's like a time machine to the kid I used to be, and that is just so special to me. So I'd like to thank my friends of both the past and the present for making gaming so damn special. It really ignites a burning memory playing this game. It brings back an aftertaste of everything that made early 2010s gaming so damn special. And regardless of whether or not we go back to something similar that was that age of gaming, it really doesn't matter to me. Nothing can replace those memories for me, and for the memories I do have, those memories and people who helped create those memories are more than enough for me. So thank you. Thank you to Bungie. Thank you to friends old and new. Thanks to those unknown guys that hosted the best Halo custom game matches. And thanks to those people who stuck around in Reach all the way to the very end. The experiences you all helped created an endless source of memories for me and thousands of others in this game. And throughout all of the years, all of your efforts and contributions are why I love this decade-old game. It's why I love Halo Reach.